just looking for confirmation. I think so. Well, Ben trying to find a way in again. He's just a little short. Well, he wasn't really that short. He just crashed into the front. Okay, so confirmed that we are now on YouTube, and he was just having a few little glitches to get us going. So you'll notice our camera's on a slightly lower angle. Just the shade at the end of the green actually overhangs the green. So as you can see in the background there, we just had to stay underneath that. But we'll still be able to give you some of those great angles that you've seen over the last few days. Mitch will be finding all the angles that he can. So just a little roll of the front there. Nothing really changes. And I think it'll be 1 to the NT. There was no signal, but I'm sure it was 1 to the NT. It's the only trouble when the players don't call it. But we're getting a scoreboard update right now, so we'll confirm that. Yes, 1 to the NT. Now, the other matches that have happened, I'm just waiting for that to be updated on the board. Yep, that's all good. So the other matches that have happened this morning in the men's pairs competition, New South Wales beat Tasmania 28-10 and Victoria beat South Australia 15-10. In Section 2, Queensland defeated the ACT 19-9 and NT defeated WA 15-11. That's in the men's pairs. In the women's pairs, Section 1, Queensland got over the line by one shot, 13-12. That's Lindsay Clark and Claire Turley. And the ACT defeated New South Wales 16-12. So Karen Murphy and Ellen Faulkner losing their first match. They're playing Lindsay Clark and Claire Turley now, so it's going to be a really important game. In Section 2, South Australia beat the NT 16-11 and Victoria beat WA 14-13. And finally, in the mixed pairs that happened this morning, as I mentioned before, South Australia beat our NT combination here 13-11. Tasmania won 13-8 over Queensland. In Section 2, it was New South Wales 16 over ACT 15 and Victoria 23 over WA 4.
Yeah, well, that Karen Murphy section is quite an interesting one, isn't it? Evenly poised with Lindsay Clark and Karen playing at the moment, so that'll be a very important game for both of those teams.
Jay, we'll do our best, but that game of Sam Atkinson is over on the other green, so we don't really have an angle to be able to give you scores from there. We'll see what we can do to get updates. I'm not sure whether it's being live scored. If it's being live scored, then you'll be able to get it yourself, and I'll check that for you now and let you know. Doesn't look like we've got live scoring on that match, so it might be a bit tricky to give you updates on that, but we'll see what we can do for you. I make no promises.
So all players are still feeling their way on the green at the moment. Even though the green speed is not terribly quick, Clive, they are still turning. So we saw that in yesterday's matches as well, that you still need to take your grass. And we're seeing here so far in this match is that quite a few of the bowls are finishing under, so sure all players will be adjusting to that in the next couple of ends.
You're right. You know, anyone that's tried to bite the line, you've been punished in general. So Ben...
Looks like this one's on a better track, just a fraction heavy.
Well, he had to correct the weight off the first one. He's just overdone it slightly. So opportunity now for Tim to close in on this jack. Was very similar to Ben's first bowl in being just over a metre short. So can he find a correction? It looks like, I was going to say it looks similar in weight, and it does. Still, Courtney holds sway with her 2 first bowls. Right, can Karen find a way here? She's round the front. Just needs it to pull up now. It's carried too far. Big opportunity now for Tasmania. Courtney Hobbs. Spot on with the relaxed delivery there.
It's got a lovely delivery, yeah. Gets the bowl away sweetly.
Well, that will count at the moment. It's another one in there. I think some of the players have wrestled with the turning point on some of the bowls with the wind the way it is. Sometimes it just changes the profile of exactly when it turns, and it washes a lot of weight off late. As this one's not far off grabbing the jack. Well, that's a great correction. Brilliantly played from Karen.
Yeah. So the saying goes, that's why you get 4.
Yes. I think Tim's called go for the bowl. Courtney's got all those shots.
Yeah, certainly going for it.
Looks close too.
Tell you what, she's got it.
What a shot.
Great shot.
Ripped it straight out. That's the best way to reply when your opposition does nail one. You can rip it out straight away. Stamps your authority on the match. It never looked like missing.
No. Did take one of her own out, but they're still holding 2.
Another comfortable day here at Joondalup. It's with the heat of the weekend and Monday has dissipated to just comfortable conditions. Did get a little chilly last night, but I think the players would opt for that rather than it got a little bit warm over the weekend.
It was hot. Yeah, it was probably the first real hot weekend we've had, actually.
And that's what makes it more shocking in a way. You're just not used to it.
Yep.
I'm sure it didn't faze the NT competitors. They would have been quite happy.
No, they would have been happy with that, and the old easterly breezes all weekend as well. There was nothing to cool the afternoons down. It's pleasant here this morning so far. Just turned into the afternoon, so
another good bowl here from Tim. That'll do enough to be in the count. So suddenly it's 2 or 3 to maybe even 4. If that front one's in. So big bowl required now for Ben Trainor.
Gonna need a bit of luck here. And well,
third shot?
Maybe third shot.
Tim with the final bowl on the end looks to have just thrown it out. A little bit of both perhaps, just around the back. So 2 shots it'll be to Tasmania. And both sides on the board now. 2 shots to 1 lead to Tasmania over NT. Our next match for streaming will be a 3 p.m. Western Standard Time match. Now just keep an eye on that because sometimes we do go a little earlier than that if time is able to be made up. Not sure that'll be the case in pairs because pairs does tend to go the distance, but we've got Lawson and Sargent from the ACT to take on Wetzlar and Smollercombe from the NT. That is our men's pairs match for 3 p.m. and then we will have the women's pairs final tonight from 6:15 p.m. Western Standard Time. But again, just keep an eye on those times because we can go a little early if things are ripe and ready to go. Again, we see those bowls just dropping across the line.
Yeah, just not coming this way. Just need to allow for the grass because it's going to turn. This one looks on a bit of better track than the first one. Weight's not
well
too
played.
bad either. Going to be about a foot in front of the jack.
I talked to the guys that played in the triples final last night, and while we're on a different green today, but they were most complimentary to the green they played on last night. I said great game, and they said it takes a good green.
Yep.
So they were very quick to compliment the surface. And whilst that green wasn't flying, it was playing nice and true, still had some nice turn to it, so it lends itself to a really good game of bowls.
Well, I think that's the most important thing, isn't it? You know, if the greens is true on both hands, which it was, you know, and it was running at an adequate speed.
It was still
wasn't
running nice, yeah.
Just a good speed that you can play all the shots on. Yeah, that's all you need. No, they've done a great job. Joondalup Club should be complimented in their efforts.
I think we need to realise that for all three clubs, for Joondalup, Sorrento and Warwick, it's unusual for them to have their greens up and running at this time of the year, you know, anywhere near their best. Normally you take what you get in October,
Yep.
and then by late November, December, they're starting to get to their best, and then they're really good straight after Christmas, you know.
Yep.
That's the pattern that tends to happen through WA greens. So for the clubs to have their greens in such great shape in mid-October is a credit to them.
Absolutely. No, they've done a great job. No one could complain about the quality of the greens over the last couple of weeks in all the various disciplines that we've had on display.
Now, has Tim got the journey here? Because if he has, he's very good.
I think he has.
Look at that. Great shot. So, Tasmania piling on the pressure early here.
Currently holding 4.
So Ben played as a lead in the NT Open State team.
Going to get down to this. Oh, it's just hung out at the last 2 metre mark there. Just looked like it was tracking lovely to that shot bowl.
Probably
Almost
just the pace, just
yeah,
held it up.
just a little bit.
Next door, also in the mixed pairs competition, South Australia playing Queensland. That is the other match in this section. South Australia leading that one 3-1.
Courtney needs just to run on a bit here. Just a fraction short, but actually almost close to counting, I believe.
Tell you what, the quality of the players in this mixed pairs event is right there. I mean, that match next door is Laney McGorman and Brett Davis, who both played for their states, and of course Laney, a freshly crowned Australian champion from the Champion of Champions event, and they're playing against Jane Bush and Scott De Jong. That is two good combinations.
Right across the green, actually, Clive, in most of the rinks were...
Well, next door to that, you've got Karen Murphy and Ellen Faulkner playing Lindsay Clark and Claire Turley in the women's open pairs.
And we've also got Corey Wedlock and Gary Kelly playing in the men's pairs.
Yep.
Next to them. So
against Victoria, I think that's Ian Brimblecombe. So there's great players right across the green.
If you're listening out there and you're around the Joondalup area, drop in and have a look, because it's well worth sitting down having a look at these great players.
Yeah, and if you're not in the area, when I say not in the area, if you are around the Perth area, not far to come out to Joondalup and enjoy and you've got plenty of time to do it, because we're going right through into the evening.
Yep.
So Otherwise, stick with us and we'll take you right through all the action as well, right here.
So, can't actually see how many they're holding there.
It
One,
looks like
maybe.
it might just be one, but there's a chance at 2. Yep.
Tim will be looking to play on that forehand and promote their bowl there, or get in just inside it to his own.
His last bowl up here was good. He's pretty much done the same thing.
He's played it very well. That'll count. Could have almost brought that short one in for to count as well.
Makes for an inviting little target to play to. So Ben won't be short here. He'll be playing up to land these or trail the jack. Any movement of jack still good. Yeah, he's playing weight. Well, he needs a bit of fortune. Didn't get it.
Well, it's quite interesting. That could be 4 now to the Tassie pair.
Yeah, it's hard to line up the exact angles, but you're right.
Tim will be looking to tuck this jack round the corner with all of their bowls on the left-hand side of the rinks. Just a little draw shot down to touch the jack round the corner.
He's that a bit wider than he has been, which gives him that chance at the jack. Well, he's added another. That's beautiful bowls from Tim. We've seen that he can do this on other times that we've streamed. Now, I think this has to be a big hit. This is going to take 5 down, which makes you hesitant to go big, right? But you have to look at what's possible here. If he plays a really good bowl, he probably gets 4th shot. Very hard to draw the shot. There is a shot in there on the backhand. I don't mind that. And if he brings the orange bowl up into play, well, that might cut it down. Could even get it down to 1 or 2 that way.
Yeah, I mean, if he does choose to stick with the forehand drive, he just needs to make sure he's erring on the side of narrow rather than wide, because
his last one missed wide, and
there's a large gap in between their closest bowl on that side of the rink.
I don't mind just healthy weight down here on the backhand to give himself a bit of a double chance. That's what Karen's called. Just give it enough to keep it up there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he'll play the hand that he feels most comfortable with, but I think you're right. That's what he's lining up to play.
Still needs to be a positive shot. If he tries to finesse this, it'll drop away.
We have seen that on this green so far.
That's where it's just going to drop under. And that's where it still needed to be a nice positive shot through there.
Yeah, I think he needed to be
reaching a bit more weight.
Needed to be reaching the ditch.
That's where it's been interesting. I mean, we heard Lee Trainor talk about it during the Champion of Champions. Well, at the end of the Champion of Champions when he won it. He sat down, the first thing he said, I can see why you West Aussies drive a lot, because in the windier conditions, you do tend to want to have a bit more weight rather than less, just to keep your line a bit straighter.
Yeah, in these conditions, the tendency always is to miss them narrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, which is what we've seen.
So that's 4. Is the back one in? Oh, it certainly is.
That one's in. That'll be 5.
So that is going to be a 5 count, full hand. 7-1 now the lead to Tasmania after 3 ends have been played.
Good start by the Tassies team.
Yeah, and some really consistent bowls, particularly from Tim there. I mean, he basically played down the same line 3 times and landed them all right next to the jack. So. Right, Courtney to get us started again. she started very well here.
Yeah, that's on a much better line coming this way from Courtney.
Really
Great shot
solid
there.
opener.
Good spot.
So, Troy, whenever we play pairs, the argument comes up in terms of what format we should play. So, do you have a particular favoured format of pairs?
I've always enjoyed this format, the old traditional 2x2x2x2 format.
Great reply here, Troy. Very good bowl.
My least favourite format would be the 2-4-2.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not a fan of that at all.
Right.
And the 3-bowl one would be my probably second choice. But I like this game.
So that's from a playing perspective. Does that change from a spectator perspective?
Oh, obviously with the TV coverage, I think probably 3-bowl pairs is the best format.
Yeah.
Just to stop that amount of walking up and down the green. But from a pure playing perspective, yeah, I'd always liked the old traditional game.
I think I pretty much agree. Now, Karen's just on the outside of her own, but that doesn't hurt. In the 8-bowl game, it doesn't hurt to drop one behind.
I'd actually have to say that the pairs game in general, Clive, would probably be my favourite game to play. Other than playing, your pennants, which is always good with the team, but other than that, pairs is an enjoyable game to play. It's pretty well played by Tim there, just finishing good 4 feet behind. Just to be on a good track here, Ben. The weight's not too bad either. That'll fall in maybe? No, but that'll be second shot, I'd say.
Well, they're happy because they've got plenty in their head to start with, haven't they now? They've got something to work with. Tim, of course, has been a state skipper for Tasmania. So plenty of experience. Well, Ben's in the zone again. Right in the area here. Just wants to crash and sort of land. Well, that's a very handy bowl. That's opened things up quite considerably, and it's pretty much 1 against 4 in there now. In terms of they're 1 down, but they're the next 4.
Yeah, I mean there's still probably good to the eye here for Courtney. She'll come up probably on her backhand there, and that orange bowl is jack high, and she's got a bowl catching behind, so she's just going to be playing a nice positive draw shot with the yard of weight. Sit that bowl, touch the jack.
Yeah, this is a case of play it before they do.
Yep. Looks to be on a fairly good line too for the shot. Oh, it's just going to hold out, but perfectly weighted bowl for the shot that she was after.
Okay, so Ben's asked Karen for some cover, and if Karen can do this, it's going to open up options then for the NT to play for that bowl. Needs it to push now. Well, it's going to be another one in the area.
Well, that's finished in a great spot. There's a bit of luck there involved there, but it's finished up in a very good spot indeed.
I've mixed up my white and orange bowls on the early part of this end, Troy. Why don't you tell me?
Well, that's a pretty good effort by Courtney.
Wasn't 1 against 4 at all, was it?
No.
Oh, well. That's the worst mistake I make all day, then that's all right.
Nah, that's all right, Kyle.
Sorry,
we'll forgive you.
sorry, viewers. Got my teams mixed up there.
So the last bowl of Courtney's is the shot bowl at the moment.
That is going to need to hold on.
Could get the edge of hers, not
Certainly
quite.
tried, but didn't quite. So Courtney's white bowl there is the shot. And then who knows after that, because I've obviously been a bit confused on this end.
Well, I think they may have the next two, potentially.
Tim just needs to run to the edge here.
Well, he's got a very favourable straightener there.
It looked like he was going to drop across, didn't it? But
he did.
Just held up right down the line and actually found the gap. So I wonder if Ben will be tempted to play forehand here, down onto his own, drop underneath and trail the jack. I mean, if he trails the jack, it's sort of there's risks involved in depending on where it goes.
Yeah, the only issue with the forehand, I think, Clive, at the moment is that to play the sort of weight that he wants to play, he's sort of that short bowl of Tim's looks to be a little bit in the way, but we'll soon see. He's
under that.
He's under.
He's really close.
Gets
What's
to
he
his
getting?
Own. Gee,
that
that's
was
an
the
unlucky,
danger. That was the danger we were talking about with that little shave of the jack down the line.
Yeah, he just needed to catch that front bowl of his just a fraction more to.
Still, he's not without a shot to play with his last. Be interesting to see where Tim decides to go with this.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether he plays on the tighter side on that backhand, getting to that short bowl of his own and maybe sliding off that.
Well, it does look.
It looks like he's
like
playing
a
under
push,
to
yep.
that. That's like what he's trying to do. I tell you what, he's in the area.
He's did it well, and he's closed down that gap a little bit by just turning that bowl.
Yeah, from our angle here, Clive, it's hard to tell whether definitely two. That back one as well, it could possibly even be three.
Well, Karen had the fingers there trying to have a look at that, so it tells us it's close.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's probably got to attack down that forehand side again.
Yeah,
that's the bowl he wants to hit. Look at that. It's I don't know whether there's much on the back end. Oh, I think it needs to be forehand.
I think so, and those two front one protect their own bowl as well. Doesn't seem to be a lot of other options really, does there?
Problem with backhand is it gets onto that orange and he might push both of theirs out without getting a result, whereas there's a couple of angles that don't work for him. But I think he needs to be going fairly solid at that bowl they're pointing at on the line. They're already 3 down. I mean, it's worth attacking.
Looking at that angle there, if he's playing forehand with big weight, he is going to have to be careful that he doesn't get the edge of his front bowl short on the left-hand side of the screen there and get both of their bowls out. They could go 4 or 5 down with taking that one out. We'll see what he does.
Well, it is big weight. Well, he's awfully close to that edge you were talking about.
Oh, tell ya, that's
Exactly
the danger.
what's happened.
That was the danger. They're potentially 5 down now.
Disaster. You can't blame him for attacking. I think he had to. And that is 5. So 2 5s in a row, and the score blows out to 12-1 to Tasmania after just 4 ends. There you go. I just was checking my score because I'm sure I heard them say 13-1 out there, but they've just agreed that it's 12-1.
Yeah, well, so far the NT have just had a couple of results not go their way. The score certainly hasn't really reflected the heads, has it?
It's generally been quite nip and tuck, but
just a couple of results just hasn't quite gone their way so far.
Courtney's found a nice line with this first bowl. Look at this. What a great starter. Brilliantly played.
Yeah, great shot.
Oh, and found itself right onto the front of the jack too. Beautiful angle on that. That. Real close-up images. Shout out to Mitch, who's looking after our pictures once more.
Yep, doing a good job.
Anyone's got a cable tester out there with a battery in it, then I'm sure he'll he would appreciate it.
Gee, that's a great reply from Karen there.
Mitch was making all his cables up today, and he was testing them. He's put them in the little tester and not getting much response from the tester.
No battery.
Made another one, tested it again, then looked at the bottom and realised the battery had fallen out the bottom.
So that'll do it.
Oh, doesn't want too much contact. Well, that's okay. Never safe here, Mitch. No secrets.
Well, Karen plays a similar bowl here. She can actually get down to that jack now that there's a bit of separation between the bowl and the jack.
Yeah, really just wants something similar to the last. And
It's just taking the weight off a bit
all
there.
it
The
is.
track was great.
So another very solid start there from Courtney. Karen Murphy and Ellen Ryan lead 5-3 over Lindsay Clark and Claire Turley at the moment, after Murphy and Faulkner. I did say Ellen Faulkner, didn't I?
Yep.
They lost their first game, so a little bit of work for them to do, but it is a strong section.
Tell you
As
what, Tim's
Tim,
going to get right
look
down
at
to this bowl.
Great shot. And fall in.
Oh, that's a great bowl, that one.
Just closes that right up.
There's a 1 bowl target here at the moment.
And a target that's partially covered by the front bowl.
Yeah, this stage of the end, just be looking to draw, get something around the place. Give him something to work off later.
Decent effort.
Tell you what, he's played this well.
Oh.
That was a good bowl.
And next door to us, South Australia, Lonnie McGorman and Brett Davis lead 5-2 after 4 ends have been played there in the mixed pairs. That is the other match in this section, and it's quite a close section. Tasmania will be loving the fact they've burst out of the blocks. They won their first match, so a big win here could put them in a very nice position to make their way through to the gold medal match later tonight.
Yep.
And Ben's in the area again here. There's 2 really good bowls. Absolutely nothing wrong with his 2 bowls there. Saying yesterday, Troy, the thing I love about this format, whilst it is a long day for the players, you turn up in the morning, you've got a full field. By the end of the day, someone's a champion.
That's the idea.
Yeah. Don't have to go home nervous and try and get a good night's sleep to come back the next day and perform. It all happens in the one day.
Yeah, you don't have to come back 3 weeks in a row or
Yeah.
4 days in a row. Or, yeah, no, it is a good format.
Fantastic shots from Courtney. Another great bowl in the area.
Good shot for Courtney, but she has created an angle. Well, that's interesting. That there's. Thought Karen might have changed over there with that bowl now creating a bit of an angle.
Looking on Facebook, a few of the images that have been around, Troy. I saw some images come through from Christina Christic and Ellen Ryan and Jamie Lee Worsnop over at Rottnest.
All right, okay, enjoying themselves.
Doing the tourism Western Australia thing.
Were they happen to be at the Rottnest Hotel by any chance?
I'm not sure about that, but I certainly saw them enjoying the beaches and enjoying the beautiful Rottnest Island. And there it is, Western Australia, walking on a dream.
Well, I have to say that Rottnest Island's one of my favourite places to go to. Absolutely love it over there.
One of the many options you've got in coming to WA.
Yeah, that's for certain.
Whether it's getting out and just appreciating the beautiful beaches, or getting up into the north or the southern areas of WA and seeing the beautiful sights down there, or getting across to Rottnest.
Yeah, it's good to see some of the players hanging around and having a bit of a look around. Some of these players, particularly the busier players within Australia, wouldn't get the opportunity to come across to WA too often. I wouldn't have thought. So
that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it.
Great to see them over here.
Mm-hmm. Now Tim.
Now, what's Tim done here?
Well, that's a good bowl. I noticed Jan Hobbs saying brilliant. I think we know who Jan might be cheering for. Immaculate line on many of those bowls. Look at that. And look at them all clumped together. I mean, just take a second to have a look at those bowls all around the jack. I mean, the standard is there. There is no doubt about it. And that's what we talked about with the 12-1 scoreline, whilst Tasmania have played fantastic. And they deserve their lead.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could fight for the fact that NT haven't been terrible either.
Well,
to be down 11 shots.
Well, they've got 4 or 5 bowls there within just over within a foot, and they're about 3 or 4 down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see him arriving here on the backhand. Needs to hold on a bit.
Well, there's things moving. Wow, I was about to say that's opened it up for his last, but then his own bowl just fell down back in the way again. We do have a live score coming through from the Sam Atkinson game, which was one that we were asked about earlier on. So that's an 8-1 lead to Victoria over South Australia.
Well, Tim's cut that wing bowl of Courtney's in, so it's another one, 3.
So Jay was asking about that and has just asked then. So yeah, so you can, that is an 8-1 lead to the Atkinsons. You can keep track of that yourself, Jay, by going to the Bowls Now app, going to the results, and you can go to the women's pairs, click on the live, and there's a page there with all of the live scores that are being covered. There are a couple that are not being covered, but that match between South Australia and Victoria in the women's pairs is being covered live now. And that updates from every score that is scored. Updates straight away. Now, how many was that?
3 more.
3? Yep. Well, it's been a massive start for Tasmania. 15-1 now the lead. After just 5 ends of the 15 that we will play. I think one of the things that you'll find with this tournament is it will open people's eyes up to WA, and whilst they come over and play their bowls and maybe go home, they just get the taste to want to come back and sample the sites.
I was talking to a couple of the players before we come on air, Clive, and they were saying exactly that. There's looking forward to coming back outside of bowls on a holiday with their spouses and kids to have a bit more of a look around WA, which is, as we both know, there's plenty of great stuff to do.
Well, you and I both had the pleasure of driving to some of the outskirts of our state, whether it's up the coast, down the coast, a little inland. You and I, over the years in our roles with Bowls Australia, have had the opportunity to do that, and a great shot here from Karen. And I tell you, there are plenty of places that you could accidentally just drive past if you don't cut in off the main drag and sort of go in and have a look. That's what I encourage people to do. If you're going to go north or go south, don't just drive past places. Make sure you cut in and have a look, because there's so many great places to see. And then, of course, a lot of the players have stayed locally in Joondalup, in the city of Joondalup, and have been able to sample the sites that Joondalup's got to offer as well, and all the experiences of a massively growing area over the last couple of decades.
Oh, it's exploded through this northern corridor along the coast, right up to Yanchep effectively now. It's from Perth right up to Yanchep, which is about, 35, 40 Ks, 45 Ks.
Yeah, well, where we are is about 25 minutes north of Perth, for those just trying to work it out. Pretty much up the coast, 25 minutes up the coast to Joondalup. Nice easy train ride if you want to do it that way. Good to see plenty of good comments coming through, and Blake Butler saying WA stands for worth a look.
Or wait a while. I like that one better, Blake. Worth a look, yep, definitely.
Warren Fairjones asking for a Gary Kelly score. New South Wales leading that one 9-3. That's Gary Kelly and Corey Wedlock, 9-3 after 6 ends. That's against Victoria. Well, another bowl in the zone for Ben. So the NT holding sway on this particular end.
Yep, holding a couple at least.
Courtney going to stick with the forehand. Yes. Look at that view. Beautiful trees that line the back of the green. Those trees you see are actually basically in the median strip of the road. That's how pretty area that is, just in behind. Stunning blue skies once again.
Yeah, it's a good sporting complex, this one, with the district cricket club, Joondalup, right opposite the bowling club with a good clubhouse and
a super shot
facility.
there from Karen. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's a hive of activity. There's been some very good cricketers. This area is the home of Josh Inglis, who has been doing his plying his trade over there in the World Cup at the moment. Plays for the local cricket club right here. I think Karen was giving herself a bit of a dressing down for going a bit wide. Said,
Yeah.
"You idiot!" I'm sure I heard. Gone a bit wide, you idiot. And don't mess around in the NT.
No, that's right.
Jay, just to clarify, if you go into the results portal itself and have a look at the scores, there certainly is, I can tell you it's 9-1 after 6 ends between the Atkinsons and South Australia, Kath Greenslade and Jodie Cotts. And I'm getting that straight off the Bowls, the Bowls Now app, as Tim finds his way around there. A little bit of an edge, but he was right in the zone. So they are there under the Australian Championships women's pairs. Then just click on live in the headings there, and you can scroll down on all the round 2 matches there. There's 2 of them being live scored and 2 of them not being live scored. So that's as opposed to the page that's the live scoring page that was being used, which was a little bit of a combination of live scoring and some manual live scoring that was being done during the side series and some of the previous events.
Ben just needs to drop under here. Not quite going to do that.
Well, that was the only one he really didn't want to hit. If he got round there, he might have been able to promote Orange to his own, but just crashed into the white bowl of Courtney.
Yeah, I think he was trying to draw under and get to his own, and then get back to that bowl of Tim's.
I think Tim won't be completely unhappy with one down here. Just looking to get round and get another one in here. Beat the orange bowl that's just on the outside of the shot bowl.
Yep, he gives his own bowl one roll. Will do the job.
Well, there's 2 very good
Tell you
bowls.
what, he's in a good area. He almost might get back to that. Not quite.
Great
just
effort.
held out.
Well, that's an interesting shot. That is on. Depends how much you want to back yourself. At 15-1 down, it's probably worth playing. Looking for the edge of the white bowl at the front to get across to Tim's bowl that's sitting on the front there, and that might be worth as many as 4 or 5. Well, that looks deep. Can get a result on the orange, just outside it. So that's going to be 1-2 the NT, and they get their score moving, but 15-2 the advantage to Tasmania after 6 ends have been played. And of course, if you want to check out all of the results over the fortnight of matches, you can even have a look back through. The Bowls Now app is the place to go. You can get that on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. Download that app, and then you get all the latest news and information from Bowls Australia, and you can just click on the results and go to the Bowls Australia results, and you'll be able to get all of that information at your fingertips, just a few clicks away. I think Karen might have underdone the line here as that breeze starts to pick up.
Yeah, it looks to have swung around a little bit further to the south as well, so the wind is almost pretty much in their backs coming in this direction now.
Well, Courtney's found it nicely once more. She's had a good handle, particularly coming this way. She's been very, very good.
Yeah, she's found the line there pretty much after the second time she tried it. This one looks like on a better line. Yeah, good ball.
Courtney just on the outside of where she wants to be, but that does no harm. I'm sure she would have been happy to crash into either of those bowls and just change that up a little bit, but I mean, in a sense, she's locked her own bowl in there quite nicely.
Yeah, she wouldn't have been too unhappy with that.
Take away the target a little. As we count down with the fours and the singles to come here at the Australian Championships over the next 2 days, Troy, we're not far off the BPL either, so that's going to be the next one that rolls around.
There's always something coming up, Clive.
Always look forward to the BPL. And, of course, BPL will feature a few of the players that we've got on the green here. And Gary Kelly, Corey Wedlock, Karen Murphy will be in action at the BPL. Up there at Pine Rivers. So it's the next one on the list.
Of course, we've got the BPL Cup as well. All the club bowlers from around Australia will be represented there.
We had our finals just a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We had the team from South Perth go through, and the other team was Vic Park team. So they'll be looking forward to the trip away.
Well, that's a great shot from Ben, and he fell back, so that will have created.
And the personnel of both of those teams, I can tell you they're going to have a good time.
Absolutely.
Both of those teams over there in Pine Rivers. I'm not sure how much bowls they're going to be playing.
Well, it's a massive opportunity to go over there and mix it with the best players from all over the world that are involved in the BPL. Enjoy the atmosphere, play some bowls, and enjoy particularly the chance to huddle around the rink in the nighttime action and really soak up all the atmosphere.
Oh, it's a great prize, and it's a great initiative by Bowls Australia, and all the clubs out there listening. Make sure you register your club as hosting a BPL Cup event in the upcoming competition for the following season. It's just a great competition to be part of.
At the very least, you get a great day's bowls at your club, and who knows, you might have the pride of being able to say that the team that qualified from your club, if it's not yourself, but the team that qualified from your club went all the way to the finals.
And what I like about the BPL Cup competition, Clive, is that you don't have to be the best bowlers in the state to qualify. We've seen it, in the past representations of the comp. You get, just your average type club players have qualified, and it's that type of event. A bit of luck goes your way in through the tournament and in the final, and next thing you know, you've got your seat on the plane. So
yep.
It really is a great competition in that respect.
Certainly is. Oh, Karen just needed a little edge just to drop.
She had a lovely
just
weight.
To drop back.
Lovely weight for the shot. Okay, well, there is opportunity here for Ben. He's just really playing a draw shot with a couple of feet. Any slight edge of that jacket's going all to their bowls. Could make a fairly good score. Yeah, can of course get down to the white bowl just behind Jack as well. Turn that out once. Could also make 3 or 4. Oh, he's drawn another one. Well, Tim's got his short bowl up and over. I don't think it'll be shot, but it will be second shot.
See if Ben can find another one in here. Well, it looks to be a tight line. Well, is there any... Yes, that's what I was just looking at. Is there any temptation for Tim to search up there, get that split, and get the jack moving to the side towards those white bowls? Oh, I think that's exactly what he is going to play. That's the confidence of having a lead, having a handy lead. Even the white bowl up onto jack might work.
Or even onto the white bowl, rolling the
shot bowl.
Yep, shot bowl once or twice as well.
All right, it's on its way.
He's playing that weight.
With some weight on it, this is close. Bowl up. And the edge of the jack. There it goes. Well, beautifully played. Now, is that
one,
two?
maybe 2?
Yes.
Have a look for the second one.
Yeah, it is 2 shots. So excellently played, and a 17-2 lead now to Tim Douce and Courtney Hobbs from Tasmania over Ben Trainor and Karen Lane. Just had lots of options up there, and just nice solid weight to give it a look.
He did, and he played just the perfect weight to get the result. Well played.
And our live scoring happening as we speak. There's the score ticking over as it's put into the system. I can tell you the gentleman that's looking after the scoreboard live is also doing the live scoring for us as well, doing a fine job. I guess that just reminds us once again, Troy, to put a shout out to all of the fantastic volunteers that have been involved in the Nationals 2023.
Yep.
These events simply don't run without hordes of volunteers getting involved, and we saw it at Warwick. We saw people everywhere at Warwick, and Serena yesterday made a lovely comment, and Clive Williams that was there as well, made some lovely comments about the volunteers at Warwick. There was an army of them at Sorrento as well, and lo and behold, you turn up here and there's plenty of people proudly wearing their Joondalup gear. Their brand new Joondalup gear, might I add. Yeah, it's an exciting time for Joondalup, Troy.
Yeah.
As they move into Premier League in just a week or so's time, when the season gets underway.
No, it's good to see the Joondalup, progressing over the last few years in the men's pennant competition, building up a good squad, and hitting the Premier League for the first time. I'm sure they'll quit themselves quite well, actually.
And what a way to warm up for your entry into Premier League than to have the very best on your greens just a week and a half out from the start of the season.
Yeah.
This weekend is State 4s for WA. All the draws are out. State 4s, Troy.
We won't talk about that, Clive.
Looking to go one better, are we, mate?
Well, we'll see. Well, hopefully it's a case of third time lucky, Clive.
Runner-up 2 years in a row. Troy Canane.
Got a slight team change this year with the unavailability of Glenn Pauling. We've got Ash Sharp from...
It's a decent replacement.
From Meriden, making the trip up to Perth to play, which would be good to catch up with Sharpie.
And of course, the 4's on tomorrow. So the Sorrento combination, led by Bruce Eagles, that were victorious in the final, will be on show.
Yep. Good luck to those fellas.
That was last year. When was the previous year?
Can't actually remember, Clive.
We might have had a little game against each other in the final.
I noticed you've swapped sides though this year, Clive. You're in a...
I'm having a run with Cody Packer this year.
Cody Packer, yeah.
Warren Holt and Jack East. Looking forward to that.
It's certainly a trophy hunting team, that one.
99 teams will go trophy hunting, Troy.
Actually a good turnout in the State 4s this year.
Yep, certainly is.
I think the numbers are up.
Yep.
So that's a positive for the sport here in WA.
99 teams in the men's draw and a whole host of teams in the women's draw as well. I think it's about 70 teams in the women's draw from memory.
It's good.
I will say I don't think Joondalup or Sorrento are on the host list. I think a few people might be looking for a little bit of a break this weekend.
Yeah, they're both volunteers, and I think the sprinklers might be out as well.
Yes, this is very close.
It's a well played
Great
here.
shot from. Found the gap.
Wow, that's a good shot. Still 2 to the Northern Territory team.
It's interesting, Troy. The players have adjusted there. There's just a little. It looks like there's a little spot on the way in where it just holds its line. We noticed it a couple of ends ago, and it looks like the players have spotted it too, and they know they can play nice and confidently up that line. And the green's just helping them a little bit to hold up. This is in that same area. Very nicely played ball.
That's finished in a very good spot.
Switch of hands for Courtney now. And perhaps a little bit more weight is the call from Tim. And looks like she just found a slightly wideish line.
I don't think it's on the high side. It's managed to sneak under. I don't think it's going to count, is it? No, just out of the count.
Tim is not shy to use weight. I expect him to be racing at this. But to be playing fairly solid up through this.
I'm not sure that bowl in front of the jack there, whether there's an angle to actually get back to the second bowl of Ben's with an edge.
Courtney's got the back of the rink owned. He's not going huge. He's not going big at all. It looked like he was lining that up, didn't
Well,
it?
you did.
He's got one bowl. There are a number of Tasmania bowls just sitting behind the jack there, waiting for movement.
Well, Ben's looking to draw on the forehand there to play off his own and Karen's bowl there, but he will need to be careful because if he plays it overweight, there is actually a chance the jack can spring back out to Tim and Courtney's bowl sitting behind the head there.
Well, there are players that would actually attack those bowls behind the head, Troy,
yeah,
and rip those out, so that there are players that would have gone for that pack of 3 bowls together on the right-hand side. So same idea on a tighter line is the call here by Courtney. Now, we know this will hold late. This is not going to get back.
No, I don't think so, not with that weight.
So Ben will want to draw in a slightly tighter line. He flirted with just catching the edge of that bowl with his last one. He won't want to do that again, because the bowl's sitting up on the edge. It only has to go essentially a full roll, and it would be one to Tasmania. He'd rather be making his way through the front bowls there of Karen Lane. David Baker. Good afternoon, David. Nice to have you joining us again. Now, dangerous danger. That is going to be one down. Unlucky for Ben there. I think that was a case of don't be wide, and he's dropped it just under and turned up the Tasmanian bowl for 1. So 18 shots to 2 now, the scoreline, as we've gone past the halfway mark in this mixed pairs match. Of course, David, a former NT representative, so he would have been cheering along for NT here. Well, they haven't really been able to get anything going, David. They haven't played a bad game of bowls. They haven't been far away. But Courtney's been outstanding, particularly in this direction with her first bowl. Now, what's she done with this one? As I say that, oh, it's pretty good. Nothing wrong with that for a first attempt.
Yeah, as you said before, Ben's just had a couple of results go against him when he's played with weight on a couple of ends, which unfortunately dropped a couple of numbers, which has been really the game.
I think Tassie probably have had a few more bowls in the head, but it hasn't been a ridiculous difference, to the point of an 18-2 scoreline.
No, I don't think so. No.
But Tim's taken opportunities when they've come as well to convert a couple. But overall, it's been a nice standard game. Courtney in the area again here.
Yeah, she's going to close in on that jack again.
Her consistency's been impressive, and as I say, it's been most notable in this direction, but she's been good going the other way as well.
She's playing very well. This one looks to be on a slightly better line, I think. And Karen gets right down to the jack here.
Great shot.
Good shot. That's what she was looking for. Ben and Karen there just having a bit of a joke and a laugh as they crossed over, which is good to see that they're maintaining their sense of humour.
You've got to keep the sense of humour, absolutely. Karen Murphy and Ellen Faulkner now leading 13-6 over Lindsay Clark and Claire Turley. So whilst they lost their first game, they're saying, hang on, we're not quite done with yet.
Got a pretty good line here, Clive. Just needs to run. Not going to. 4 feet short.
Just trying to get an angle on the scoreboard on rink 5, because that's the other game in that section of the women's pairs. Troy, is that 17-10 to the ACT?
Yeah, it looks like it. 17-10,
Yep, 17-10 to the ACT over Tasmania. It was the ACT combination that defeated New South Wales in that first round. So ACT making good progress there in terms of winning that section. And that's a good team. That's another good team in that section. That's Di Marquette and Sharon Steele. That they are good players. And very familiar players in these sorts of events. So whilst you could have easily been drawn to those two combinations of Lindsay and Claire and Karen and Ellen, because we're so used to seeing those names at the top of our sport, Di and Sharon have got plenty to offer.
Well,
and the Tasmanian combination is
Diane and Sharon have beaten, didn't they beat Karen in the first game?
Yes, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
And you've also got the Tasmanian combination of Kim Saunders and Deb Lee. They're another that is a really good section in terms of the quality. I said all along I thought that women's pairs field might be the event of the week in terms of the quality of that field.
Closeness of the games.
We've got two mother and daughter combinations in there as well, Sam Atkinson and Cheryl Atkinson, and from Victoria, and the WA combination of Donna Blackwell and Kay Blackwell.
Yep. Yeah, good teams all round in that event. Well, Karen's short there, but she's closed the hole up.
That's a good confident call from Tim. The absolute least that happens here if Courtney does crash through there is she opens up some options for him to play.
Tell you what, she's not far away either.
Played it really well.
That's well
to
played.
The jack.
Good shot. I mean, she got a feather off there, but she was right in the area.
Oh, absolutely.
And she played with, perfect weight for the shot as well.
Yeah, she probably wait to give herself all of those options.
Yep.
and turning into it, so there was options there as well. Too much weight, and she might have actually reduced her options there.
Bit of excitement on the adjoining rink there,
Brett
Clive.
Davis loves it. He's another player that's been at it for many a year, and playing alongside Lainey McGorman. I'm sure they're having a ball. Lainey said to me, as a team, they just click. And that's what you want, in a mixed pairs combination. You want to be able to back each other, and I think the match we're seeing here, it's loud and clear from the Tasmanians that they've got that similar confidence in each other. I'm certainly not saying that Karen and Ben don't have that confidence as well, but we've seen it in the way Tim's willing to call weighted shots and things like that. He knows that he's got a partner that's got the whole game, and he's using Courtney's skills wonderfully well in the skipper's role.
Absolutely. And she's played those shots so far in this game, really well. She's been around the place
Chloe
on most occasions.
Chloe letting us know there has been a change in that ACT team. Sharon Steele out due to a dodgy knee. And is it Kirsten, Chloe? You might just let us know that.
Well, that's a good bowl by Ben. Get the second shot there now. Well, Tim's come. Beautiful shot there by Tim. Drawing around his front bowl. Get behind the jack to make 2.
Yes, it is Kirsten, yeah. Kristen, sorry. Kristen, yes. My mistake. I knew I was close.
I think the call here is to play weight on the forehand, trying to get through the front hole. Well, he wasn't a million miles away, just catching the front.
It was a tough shot.
Exactly. So that'll be another 2 to the Tassie team.
So 20 shots. Just waiting for that to go on the scoreboard just to confirm that it was just 2. I'm sure it was 2. Yep. 20 shots to 2 is the scoreline in favour of Tasmania. And they are making a big move towards making their way through to the gold medal match here in the mixed pairs. Now, with South Australia in front 8-4 next door after 9 ends. South Australia won their first match. Tasmania, we would assume, would go on and win this match. So it could be a shootout in round 3 to make the final. Shots up go out the window, unless it's a draw, of course, in which case the shots up are very handy. But it'll be the winner of that round 3 clash that will make their way through to a gold medal match tonight. Just a reminder to make sure if you're on Facebook, make sure you've got your notifications on and you like the Bowls Australia Facebook page, because the timings do potentially change throughout the day. So while we've got an advertised start time of 3 p.m. for our next match and 6:15 for our gold medal matches, it can be that they change. Andrew Howie, who's a wonderful organiser of this event, does take that into account for the players. They're not going to make them sit around for an hour if they don't need to. Get them out in the green and playing.
What time was the final starting last night, Kyle? I didn't quite catch the start time.
Just on about 6 o'clock last night.
Right, so we were running about 15 minutes early.
Yeah, but that was triples, which tends to move a little quicker than the pairs, especially in the 2x2 format.
Yep.
But the 2.5 hours sometimes is it just depends. I mean, if you get a game that has a few dead ends and things like that, the 2.5 hours gets used up.
Mm.
Nice shot there from Tim. Just drops in behind. A couple of the stars that we were just talking about sitting alongside the rink watching on Troy, Jamie Lee and Ellen Ryan. Jamie Lee Worsnop and Ellen Ryan.
Back from Rottnest.
Yep. It appears Rottnest has survived. And another nice bowl there from Tim, just another one in the zone. There they are. Hidden in behind one of our wonderful sponsor signs.
They've both got the bottles of water out there, Clive. I wonder whether they'd overindulged at the Rottnest Hotel. No, I dare say they wouldn't have done.
They'll be in action tomorrow in the fours.
Drink responsibly, that's what we advocate, of course.
Karen looking to land or get a little trail. Well, the nudge will do.
She's done that. Good enough for shot.
Yes, that fours team tomorrow is a pretty handy fours team, Troy. Karen Murphy, Ellen Ryan, Ellen Faulkner, Jamie Lee Worsnop.
They'll be hard to beat.
Well, you're going to struggle to put together a better fours combination than that. That's a world standard. That is a world standard fours combination.
Absolutely. Tim's line up to play through the front of his here to get the... Ooh.
Just got contact clean across the front.
Of course, there is opportunity with weight like that to punch the orange bowl out to make a number there. So that's what he was trying to do.
Well, it's a tough draw, isn't it? I mean, to try and just draw the shot, there is room, but it's just got to be absolutely perfect to do that.
Well, that's a good bowl. Hard to tell from our angle whether it's counting for two, but it probably takes Tim's previous shot away now, and you probably see him just back on the draw now, I'd say. Just to clear that front white one and get down to the last bowl of Ben's, or just inside it.
A couple of other score updates for you. Men's pairs 11 all after 11 ends, New South Wales and Victoria, so that's Wedlock and Kelly against Mitchell and Brimblecombe, as Tim gets around but finds his way right through the gaps. WA's Mark Wannenberg and Warren Holt leading 6-4 after 8 ends against Matt Sargent and Richard, but it's not We call him Henry Lawson. As Ben tries to get round here, but I don't know that that'll get back enough. So
not quite.
Looks like it'll be 2 on the board, 2. The NT combination, is it? There's 1. There's 2.
2.
And that's going to be it, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
2
it is to the Northern Territory, and it's now 20 shots to 4 in favour of Tasmania after 10 ends. So just 5 left in this one. The other live score that's coming through there in the men's pairs is a 13-8 lead after 10 to Tasmania. Belchambers and Marshall versus Brennan and Denelt. 13-8 there. Women's pairs live scores that are available. The Atkinson combination from Victoria, 15-5 in front over South Australia. That's Greenslade and Cots. And Murphy and Faulkner now 13-10 in front over Turley and Clark. That's after 11 ends.
So that game's tightened up considerably, Clive.
Yeah.
Just needs to run here, Karen. Line was pretty good. It's going to fall about 4 feet short.
Yeah, 13-10, a 3 to Turley and Clark on the previous end. Has done that. All right. Game of correction, Troy. It's the war of 1 metre correction right here. Who can do it? Oh, Karen had first chance and looks like she's landed in amongst them. Can Courtney find her metre? You'd be brave to back against her the way she's played in this direction.
Yeah, I think I'd be betting that she will correct.
Oh, have we got her?
Oh, I think we've caught her. Definitely have.
Oh. Well, just say the jack's in the wrong place for those ones, but
yeah. Just rolled that jack a metre too far.
That's it. They've both played very well throughout the match. Courtney's definitely had the upper hand, but Karen hasn't been far away.
Okay, see what the skips can do with their first bowls. I think Ben's done the same. This looks to be better weight from Tim. He might get onto the jack here, and he has.
Got all of it too. Beautifully played.
I think he might have hung this one out a bit deep, Ben. It's not quite going to get all the way down from there. The weight wasn't too bad.
So Tim just looking to produce the same once more. And looks out to a nice wide line as he kept the pace on it.
Well, he's going to do enough to count for two, I think.
Is.
That's for sure.
Now, if you've got the day off, you're just looking to relax. Ellen Ryan there, looking mighty comfortable there. That could be the beach, couldn't it? That she's lying down there.
Yeah, I think I'd probably prefer be sitting on Ricey Beach at Rottnest rather than lying beside a bowling green myself. But
it certainly looks comfortable. A star she is. Taking a little bit of time out.
Tell you what, you're not too far away here,
Very
Karen.
close. Lands it perfectly.
Well played. Great shot there.
Nice confident shot.
Courtney's going to follow her down and draw the shot or touch the jack back to Tim.
Another handy bowl there.
Looks to be on a nice line here. How's the weight? Just travelling through. Well, would have been okay if she got a bit of the jack, but not a bad spot all the same.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think the easier shot would be down there on the backhand, but that bowl sitting out the front there of Tim's is blocking his line through there. It'd be easier to search up there, but so that colourful bowl at the top of your screen, just making that shot a bit tricky to get to.
And just a bit under with that one. Okay.
Sorry, I said Tim's bowl in the way. Of course, it's Ben's bowl that's in the way, doing the protecting out there.
Yeah, Tim's just forgot to send this one.
Another brick in the wall up there. Almost looks like a bit of a tenpin bowling setup up there, doesn't it? The triangle of bowls.
It does.
Need one more row. Look at those. It's almost a perfect triangle up the front there.
Just need that bowl to get through. No, it's not going to do it. Okay, well, Tim doesn't really have a lot of options here other than to just be drawing around that front pack of bowls on the forehand.
Yeah, I don't think there is an option to throw one hard at the orange and maybe push it through onto the other orange, but I don't see him doing it. But
I mean, there is room for the bowl to get back to the jack.
Absolutely.
So it's just plays with the right weight here. He does have the chance to get back to that jack and trail it for a couple. It's going to be a bit high for that. So it'll be one shot to the NT team.
Certainly is. 20 shots to 5 now the lead. 4 ends to play in this one. Next door, it's a 12-4 lead to South Australia, so that's after 11 ends there. So starting to look like it's going to be a bit of a playoff in round 3 between South Australia and Tasmania in this section. Women's pairs match between Murphy and Faulkner versus Turley and Clark. It's a little bit closer, 13-11 lead to the New South Welsh combination after 12 ends there. And the ACT leading 21-11 after 11 ends against Tasmania. It's quite a high scoring game, that one. And that's 32 shots scored in 11 ends. That's nearly a run rate of 3, which is that's definitely on the higher end.
Playing very well, the ACT ladies.
That will please Chloe Morrison. I'm sure it won't be long before there's a little comment there from Chloe as Karen nails the jack with her first there.
Good start here by Karen.
Chloe, of course, was in action during the side series for the ACT. Not far away from Courtney either. Yeah, that's a great reply. Another great shot from Courtney Hobbs. She really has controlled this side of the rink. And Karen just missing a line with this one.
Well, it tried to hang on, didn't it?
Yeah, just the little bit of weight that was on it that enabled that. Yeah, for Courtney at the moment, they're just coming out of a shoot at the moment. This is not far away at all.
Very close here.
Brilliant. Brilliant bowls.
2 great bowls. See, the crowd seems to have picked up slightly, Clive. Got a few more people wandering in to have a look.
Noticed that yesterday. That it just picked up throughout the day. Of course, it is a working day here in WA, of course, being a Wednesday. So, but we did notice that numbers grew through, particularly through that 5 o'clock type time where people were able to get along and. There was a few people out practicing for the next day. That's something you do see at this Australian Championships format. And we might expect with 4s on tomorrow, that'll be a slightly bigger crowd because, double the players, of course, compared to a pairs event. And we certainly encourage you, if you are heading home from work or you've got some free time, to get down here and enjoy an evening of bowls. It's a high quality affair last night in the final of the triples. I'm sure we'll have another high quality match tonight to cover the women's pairs final.
Yeah, well, that's shaping to be a good final, whoever makes it through.
Well, it's a high quality field, so it's not going to matter. Not going to matter who gets through. Because if they get through their sections, they've well and truly earned it, and they've played some great bowls to do it. Team just looking to get down, but not quite going to. Still another bowl in a pretty useful home. We know the Tasmanian combination aren't scared to attack, and with just that one bowl sitting there, might be tempted to do so. I mean, Courtney, you wouldn't put it past her just to draw up there and nudge the jack round the corner at the moment.
Well, it's definitely on the cards. I wouldn't mind betting that, Karen's actually looking to play a similar type shot.
Yeah.
Change it up a bit.
Try and do it first.
Yeah, do it first. Come off the wing bowl or touch the jack. Just change the angles for Courtney's next bowl. That's what she looks like she's going to do.
Well, can she beat them to it? She's in the area. Needs it to hold. Just drops under. And there's the exact call we expected. Sit the bowl, trail the jack type shot. They're the hardest shots to play in these conditions. It's the only thing about it. Sometimes in these conditions you're better off just playing the draw shot again and letting that little trail happen
as a
bonus.
bonus.
I won't say accidentally, but yeah, as a bonus.
Yep.
Well, that bowl is getting crushed by the wind.
Karen's unfortunately copped a very strong gust there, which has forced it to turn a bit quicker than she thought.
And they're virtually playing right into the teeth of it on this hand. It's virtually straight into the breeze as she lets that bowl go. And there's the difference it makes. It was the gustiest that breeze has been for a little while.
Yeah, it's sort of switched around more to the south now rather than the southwest. So you're almost up and down the green.
Well, absolutely, Colleen. The weather is amazing. Look at that. Beautiful. Just on cue as we were talking about it, and stunning conditions again. Breeze is threatening to come up again, but I'll tell you what, so is this threatening. Talking of threatening, great shots.
Good shot there by Ben. Probably see her.
Tim won't mind it. It's set up a bit of a target for him.
He'll play a bit more direct, I think. She's doing.
That's going to be tight. You want this to go right to the back. And difficult one for Ben to know what to do here. I think for Tim, he needs to decide what weight he's going to use with his next bowl. Ben, I don't know that there's much benefit in going anywhere near this. I think I'd be tempted to head round the back and say to Tim, well, if you want to hit it hard, go for it. So the only trouble with landing another bowl just in sort of the cover range here, I don't think that's coming into it. I'd have liked to see him go around the back. I think Tim's more likely to use more weight rather than less here.
I would have thought more weight would be coming for this because he can actually get the... If he gets a edge off the Ben's bowl there, they do actually have catching bowls behind and to the right there. He's actually looking for almost like a fine edge if it's not going to go right back.
This is going to be big. This is exactly what we expected. Take the wind out of it and just hit it. He's outside it.
It's too wide. So they hang on there, the NT team. I'll pick up 2 shots.
Yep, 3 ends in a row now to the NT, but they still trail 7 shots to 20. The damage was done early. And Tasmania, we would expect, will still hang on for a victory. Shots will essentially be unimportant, although South Australia lead 12-7 next door Troy after 12, so that one's not quite over yet. Some of the stars getting a bit of practice in over on the other greens.
Is that a St John's team that was entered there, a New South team?
Yeah, there's That's another very good team in the men's fours. Ben Twist. That side is Ben Twist, David Ferguson, Matt Peterson and Craig Donaldson. That's a fair combination for a fours combination, I can tell you.
That's pretty close to their pennant team, at least for that night midweek comp anyway.
Certainly a very talented combination, no doubt about that. They'll be in action tomorrow. Courtney looking for the jack just on the outside of it. Never a problem in this sort of format with so many bowls on the green. You get a bowl between the jack when the jack's on the tee. Get a bowl between the jack and the ditch. Never an issue. Always handy. Because when you need one there, it can often be difficult to get one there. By the time the jack's in the ditch, that drawing to there looks so hard, but you can do it accidentally at this point in time.
Well, exactly. I mean, you quite often get a different green speed, don't you? Just past the tee where everyone's been standing and trampling the
absolutely
the grass down. Runs a bit quicker. Pretty good. Just going to pull up a bit short.
Josh Appleyard cheering on Courtney Hobbs. No surprises there. Josh, a proud Tassie boy. Right, well, once again, it's this game of correction, isn't it? I mean, the two skippers just 2.5 feet, maybe a metre short. And a chance to correct.
Be on a good path. Just needs to run, keep running. Well, we've done enough to count.
Certainly.
Bit deceiving our camera angle to see whether it's 2 or 3 at the moment.
Well, Tim's made the switch to the other side to try and give him a chance to promote his own bowl. This might settle that. I would say most likely just the one, although interesting. Interesting that you would think there that the front bowl is the shot, but both the NT players felt the need to check that, so that gives you an idea that there can't be too much in it.
Yeah, the camera angle certainly is deceiving. I mean, from where we're sitting, Clive, it looks like the back bowl.
Yeah, and that's only because we're not directly over the head. Of course, Mitch is a genius, but we can't get directly over the head, so drone would be the only option. I'll tell you what, that is a fair effort from Karen. That's a really good bowl. Perfectly weighted. As you see next door, 12-8 now, the lead to South Australia over Queensland. So Queensland making a late bid to keep themselves in the hunt for a gold medal match tonight. Queensland must win that match to give themselves any hope of a gold medal outing tonight.
One shot in the Karen Murphy-Lindsay Clark game now.
Yeah, well, that's just been getting closer and closer, hasn't it? I mean, that was out at 13.6. It's now 13.12.
Queensland has just continued to tighten it up there.
Will it weave?
Karen's close here.
Will it weave? It certainly did.
She's done enough. Just a wait. It's going to catch her again.
In fairness, we haven't really seen Courtney on that side of the rink very much at all during the match. Played most of her bowls on this side of the green. On the, when I say this side, the side that we are seated on, just to the left of your screen there. There you can see over the back those players getting a much needed practice in, some familiarisation time on the greens. Do have a live scoring link there, and you know you can trust that link because it has the bowls. It has the blue tick next to the Bowls Australia, which indicates that it's a verified, legitimate site. Of course, we always encourage you not to click any other links that might be posted. And the way we're controlling that these days, we don't get too many of those anymore. You can also get some live scores by going to the results portal, of course, as we've talked about, for those games that have been directly live scored on BowlsLink. Not every game is being directly live scored on BowlsLink. Bit of debate there, and I've got no idea how many were declared there,
There
Troy.
was no indication from either player, Clive, what was going on there, so...
We'll have to wait for a scoreboard update here.
Got a feeling
it looks
it's
like
2?
It looks like 3.
3, was it?
Looks like 3 to the NT. So the NT have closed the gap here. Then we'd expect they're not going to be able to get the win with only 2 ends left and 10 shots the gap. But you know, if it was 18 ends, you might be just about giving them a show. But 20 shots to 10 with 2 to play is probably a bridge too far.
Still, funnier things have happened in this game.
Yeah, well, remember it is the 8-bowl game, so they're not restricted to just the 6 bowls. And you can kill ends, that's the other thing to keep in mind. So it does make it just that little bit more of a chance. In a respot game, if you need a big number on the last end, you'd better get it right first time because you only get one crack. Good shot there from Courtney. Yeah, I think 13-all now in that blockbuster pairs match between New South Wales and Queensland. 13 all women's pairs after 14 ends.
So
Down to the wire.
Karen Murphy's side there needs to win that game,
Must
of course,
win
to
stay in any sort of chance. Yep.
Courtney's not going to quite get the run there. So.
Yeah, David, really don't know in terms of the format. I don't know whether there's a need to change it to 3-bowl.
Well, the thing is, Clive, is if all the states are playing their state events to qualify, playing the traditional game style, doesn't make much sense to me to convert it to a 3-game bowl of 3-game pairs just for the sake of the television.
The states find their winners in different ways, though, Troy. That's the thing. So, for instance, the WA qualifying is not a 2x2x2x2 qualifying for the mixed pairs.
Oh, mixed we're talking about, I thought we'd talk about pairs in general.
Well, David's asked about this comp, so whether he's referring to the mixed pairs alone.
Okay, yeah.
And we're being asked by Angela Wren for an update from the Queensland NT. I understand why you're asking for an update, Angela. It's a little bit too far away for us, unfortunately. I can see the game, but I can't get an angle on that scoreboard, unfortunately.
I think you need a pair of binoculars to try and...
Which I do have, but I didn't bring along, so maybe I'll put them in the bag for tomorrow. And I don't believe that's one of the games that is being live scored.
Yeah, lovely shot there by Tim.
Karen with a bit of a searcher here, looking to pop that closest bowl out and gets it perfectly. Great shot.
Good shot there by Karen.
Pretty clear all 4 players on the rink here have got all the shots in the game. It was a decent attempt in reply as well, wasn't it? Just drops across, not far away. See Josh Thornton over there practicing as well. Of course, he was one of the stars in the Para Nationals that we covered, what seems like weeks ago.
Yeah, only a week ago, and of course that was a very good game as well, wasn't it? The singles final we were talking about, of course,
certainly
against
was.
South Australia.
Yes.
Very high quality game of bowls.
Of course, Chris getting the honours there, Chris Flavel.
Yeah, he played very well.
But Josh will be skippering the 4s team for Victoria.
Right, so how can Ben manufacture a score here, Clive? Is not a lot of options other than, doesn't appear to be a lot of options anyway, other
Well, I
than
think it's 2 at the moment.
drawing,
So
just a dead draw to hopefully make another 3 or a 4 there.
If you can get a 3 or a 4, he keeps the dream alive, doesn't he? But that looks like it's just floated wide. So is Tim chasing here? Yes, he is. Tim using some weight, just drops under.
Well, there was a chance there, wasn't there? You get onto that jack-eye orange bowl, could almost get both of them and make a score for the Tassie team.
I think Ben's just, looks like he's actually going for some cover.
Well, I'm not sure whether the covering is the right option at this stage of the game.
All right, well, 1 bowl to come in the end. I expect it's going to be express from Tim once more. South Australian team has arrived for some practice. That is a good combination. We'll run through that combination in just a moment, as Tim is closer with this.
Off the edge of that one.
Ooh, just misses the jack. So looks like 2 more to
NT.
Just making sure it was no more than that. And they've kicked those out, and 2 it was. Yep. So they've won the last 5 ends of the match. Have the NT. It's just
a bit more
a shame for them that the damage was done really early.
Yep.
2 5s early on. Now, as I look next door, South Australia and Queensland are 12 all, Troy. So Queensland are making a last-ditch effort there in the mixed pairs to keep themselves alive. That is going to be, well, it's good news for Tasmania, because Tasmania would like to see that, because it'll give them a buffer going into the final game if the South Australians do get defeated.
There was a fair margin in that game, wasn't there? What was it?
It was 12-4, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say it was 7 or 8, so they've done well to get back.
And right next door, the last few bowls of that Murphy-Faulkner versus Clark-Turley match are happening. And it was weight from Karen Murphy there, so I can only assume that Clark and Turley are holding shot on that rink. Clark and Turley won by 1 shot in their first match this morning, and they might do it again right here. So some big finishes. South Australia are on the attack next door as well, so that tells us that Queensland are holding sway there. It looks like Jane Bush has bowls all over the jack. Look at the fact that she has one in her hand that's the same colour as all the ones that are around the jack, Troy.
Yeah. So Karen Murphy's last bowl's away. They're currently 1 down at the head and game, 1 down. And she's grabbed the jack, which has gone into the ditch, and she's followed the bowl to pick up the shot.
Wow.
And
that's the game.
Win the game. Or has it?
They've called an umpire, but I think it's definitely one to Karen Murphy anyway. Her bowl is clearly shot there. I think they're looking to see whether it's more than one. So a fantastic shot from Karen Murphy as we just have a glance over there. As you can see there, the Sue Hogg is out there doing the umpire's duties, but that bowl that's on the edge of the green there on the left, right under that little mark that's on the bank, That looks like the shot bowl over there. So
it looks like they're measuring for a second shot between Claire Duke's bowl and Alan Faulkner's bowl.
Ben just crashing on the front there, so still an open jack to be drawn here. As Queensland still holds sway, and James just added another one to that clump of 4 bowls around the jack. So as this one winds down to a finish, we know look, it's 8 shots. I think we're fairly sure Tasmania are going to win this one. Not quite so sure who's going to win next door. We'll keep an eye on that for you. As Ben does enough, you would think, for shot there. Laney on the attack next door. We'll let you know the result of that in just a moment. It's very close. And Laney's got onto the jack and got it to the back of the rink. And it's landed, I believe, right on Brett Davis's bowl. We're not watching that game, so I'll just confirm that is Brett's bowl shortly.
That is Brett's bowl.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
So South Australia holding at least one there next door now. It looks like it's only one. And we're back here with Karen Lane as this one winds down to a finish. So confirmation, it was 2 shots to New South Wales in that women's pairs match. So Karen Murphy with the big shot to win the match. She's done that before. And she's done it again and kept their hopes alive. It's going to make for a very interesting round 3. Where the ACT now have a huge advantage going into that last round of that one. As Scotty de Jong unable to convert it back in Queensland's favour there, so he's only got 1 bowl left in that match. And he must make shot with that bowl, but Brett Davis has still got 2 in the kit bag. Yeah, that section becomes very interesting in that women's pairs. I mean, the ACT have had a healthy win there. It looks like 25-12 on the scoreboard. So
2 good wins to them.
It gives them a margin of 13 plus 4, 17 shots. Whereas the rest of the games have been so close. So barring a big loss, you'd think Tasmania are going to be in a really nice place to go through to the gold playoff. So as Ben makes his way down there, Brett Davis's first bowl of the skipper's position is on its way, and I don't think he's real happy with it. So it goes back to Scotty de Jong, as you can see on the right hand side of your screen. Scotty just having a look to see what he's going to do. We'll keep our focus right here with Ben. Tim Douce just dropping across. Any contact? Oh, not quite. Just caught an edge as he went through. If he'd got that any sort of solid, that was probably coming up to definitely count. Scotty de Jong, his last bowl is on its way next door. You'll see it come into screen any second. And they're already shaking hands. So that is a win to South Australia, which will mean that this section is going to come down to that round 3 clash between South Australia and Tasmania to see who's going to play in the gold medal in the mixed pairs section 1. As this one winds down, Troy, it's been an entertaining match, and we just, it's probably not a surprise that we've seen the NT string a few ends together, because they weren't completely out of the match early, even though they were down 20 shots to 2.
As you said before, they had bowls in the area, and a mixture of Tim playing a couple of good ones to convert, and Ben probably having a couple of conversions that went against him. Sort of really at the end of the day was the difference.
And those 2 5s on end 3 and 4. Certainly 5s make a difference, and another one making a difference. No, just crashes into the front. So that will be... We're going to struggle to get a signal here as to how many this is. I think Karen was headed back for the mat for a moment. I've no idea how many shots that was. It was one to the NT, so they round out 6 ends in a row, but it is Tasmania that take the win. They win at 2013, and they will go into a round 3 clash in Section 1 against South Australia. The winner of that will play for gold, and the loser of that match will play for bronze. That will be South Australia versus Tasmania in the next round. Our attention is going to go to the men's pairs in the next round. So we will look forward to that one, and that'll be from 3 p.m. Western Standard Time. We're here in WA.
For a change.
So used to saying Eastern Standard Time. It's great to be able to say Western Standard Time for a change. So there you have it. That is round 2 concluded. Thank you, Troy.
Cheers, mate.
And a big thank you it is to Tourism Western Australia, the Department of Local Government, Sport and Cultural Industries, Lottery West and the City of Joondalup for their wonderful partnership in bringing us the Nationals 2023. But for now, from the Joondalup Bowls Club, we'll catch you back here in around 45 minutes. We'll see you then.